Thank you for staying tuned and welcome back to Connect, our family live show on Spectrum Television, live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Well, I'd like for you to draw closer to your television set. Let's talk about love a little bit now. It looks like in recent times, the conversation has been more like there are no good marriages out there. Marriages are failing, but I always say you are looking at the wrong examples because there are good examples. There are people who have succeeded in their marriages all around you. Most people will now ask, you're saying that celebrity marriages are failing. You cannot use the marriage of your parents as an example. They married for 30 years, for 40 years, but you've not seen good example. Abi, something's warning you from your village. No, sorry, we meant like try better. Well, it's a great day to be alive. I've been joined by Mr. and Mrs. Edidion Udofia. Now, the beautiful thing about this is his wife has been on Connect, I think like twice when she was single. Now she has returned to tell us that those things she was talking about when she was single, she put them into practice. Now she's married. Now she's undergoing fresh class. How's it going? That's what we're going to be talking about today. They are under 1 year in their marriage and they're going to be telling us about their newlywed experience. Good evening, my couple of the evening. Good to have you on set.
Good evening.
Good evening, Uyai. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to have you, our
Good
husband.
to have you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
How do you feel being here this evening?
I feel great, seriously.
Yeah?
Because I'm doing very great work here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we also have Deborah Fumbo joining us from Calabar this evening. She's a relationship expert, certified author, and she is also going to be delving in this line, answering questions. That's why I told you earlier on, please try and take advantage of the phone lines this evening and ask your question real time. They'll be here to answer. You know, Monica Edidion also is an author of the book called Intentional Waiting. Yes. So, I mean, we have it fully loaded in the next few minutes. But let's go to our question that we asked on social media and bring you the answer. What was the moment that it hit you that you are now married, right? So let's have those slides on our screen this evening and we will be taking it on. What's the moment it hit you that you are actually married, okay? It's coming on our screens and we'll be looking at it. Okay, this is talking about second time. Can you give us the one that is talking about the first time? Take us to the first slide. So I'll start reading. Oh no, not this one. Married folks, when did it first occur to you that you are married? So I'll share this particular story. This person is saying the second week, it occurred to her the second week that she was married when her husband was ill and wouldn't eat. Now, I made yam pepper soup in the morning and later he needed to eat swallow. The man doesn't function without it. Well, gist is coming. The speed with which that remaining yam pepper soup turned into the best white soup I have made in my entire life shocked the life out of me. I called my baby sister and reported myself. Okay, and that's the day it actually hit me that I was married. That's the first slide. So you can now go to the first slide that you brought up. Now, that particular responder is now saying the second time was when she had actually attended a meeting, returned home, and had to do chores immediately she got home after having a very long day. At that point, to just be like, okay, this is what marriage is about, responsibility. So they're just some really funny responses there. This other person says, it was a few days after our wedding. I woke up one morning and said, I want to go home. Oh my God, I want to go home. I have missed my house. What I heard was, which home? He never claimed, he said, I don't marry you. Then he started laughing and said, don't worry, you'll realize in 10 years. I just started crying. Look at the responses that we're getting from people right there. This other one said, when I cooked several dishes without complaining. Side note, I don't like cooking very much, but now I do it with so much joy. And then she also said, 2 nights ago, I made catfish pepper soup around 4 a.m. because man was hungry. As he ate, I ate also. You see, these are the issues we are talking about. And this other person said it hit her after she had her first baby. when did it hit you that you had gotten married? Of course, we're going to throw open the phone lines and also take your responses. This person said, now these are responses that we called off social media. This person said, when he said no to me going somewhere and meant it. No, you mean I have to stay back because one man said so? She said, whoa, I cried. You know, these are some of the responses that we get. I'll take one more and then we take the one from our guest. So I hope you've been thinking of the moment it hit you, right?
Yeah.
This person said, after the wedding reception and everyone was going back to their houses, including my parents and siblings, it dawned on her that she was married. Then this person said, me talking to my wife on the call while going home from work and telling her I will call her when I get home, forgetting I just got married and that she's at home waiting for me. Really hilarious stories that we're seeing. Okay, last one. After our first major misunderstanding, I said, see, me, I am going home. I don't have the strength for this now. He laughed and said, which home? This is home now. I called my mom to complain and she said, he's right. That is your home now. And she wailed. Really funny things. People, different strokes for different folks. So I'm going to start with the wife. Because it be like saying that also they shock pass.
Women first. Ladies first.
So
all the time.
when did it first hit you that you were now married?
The difference was not much.
Okay.
Because I waited intentionally.
Okay.
Like I waited, living every day like I was going to get married soon.
Okay.
So I was already preparing my mind for it too. I was not surprised. Like
Okay.
I was not. The heat didn't really come on me.
Okay. So like, but did you have like any experience that drew you like, okay, but I'm really married now? You know, it's different when you're preparing for the exam than when you're now writing it. Any experience? I know it's story. I know it's story.
I can't remember.
You can't remember. Okay, Eddie, let's hear it.
Wow. Awesome. Powerful discussion. So, personally, I have I think two encounters that I had. What was them? Normally, I'm a workaholic. In my office, I can stay in the office from 8:30, 9 a.m. till 10, 11 p.m.
Wow.
That's one thing. So sometimes, so when I got married, you know, I can't stay like that again. So I had to just tell myself, guy, you have somebody at home, right? So I'll be closing by 4, 5. At most 6 p.m. You're back to the house. So that was one thing that got to me. I can't stay again till 10 o'clock anymore.
No longer as you please.
Exactly. So I just do what I can to close on time. So that was just knowing that somebody is waiting for me in the house. And secondly, what got me that I got married was, you know, somehow, I don't know, maybe because of my background, how I was brought up, and I think my lifestyle or my parent, how my parents brought me up, I wasn't that good in saving money.
Okay.
I was just good in throwing money around.
Oh yeah. Spend it as
somebody
you
can
come.
just call me and say, Didion, please, I have an issue, please, just help me. And I'm like, guy, sometimes someone just call you at the point where the money just coming. Someone just crying, please, can you just help? If I have that money, just help. But now, you know, you're married now. A lot of things that we've planned together as a family, that goals we are pursuing. Do you understand? So I can't spend money like that again. So I had to just tell myself, young man, no. At least just curtail this. No, I do help. Do you understand? But now
There's budget with the help.
Exactly. Do you understand? So those are two occasions that really made me to know that Didion, you're now a married man.
Okay.
So that was just that's just that.
It makes sense. It hits you. I'll remind your wife of one story that I'm sure that they be like, I'm really, you know, the one we just read where the woman said that she wanted to go out, then her husband said you can't go out, and then like, I won't go because this man said.
Yeah.
Hi Debbie, good to have you on the show this evening. We can see Debbie all the way from Calabar. Hello.
All the way from Calabar. Hello.
Good evening and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to pull in and very heavy weight in the industry. I think we're having a hold back, so just help us take care of that. It's good to have her. So I'll come to you in a moment, but let me remind Monica. Now she's talking about the fact that she talked about the fact that when she got married, when you people got married, they stopped her from eating after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, so dinner ends at 6. nothing gets into the mouth after that. I think, yeah. I can imagine that shocked you.
Yes, that's true because before I got married, I'm coming from a place that if you eat by 6 p.m., in fact, if food is ready by 6 p.m., anybody that eats around that time will ask you, am I going to eat dinner again? But I went to a place where I was told, once it's 6 p.m., I don't want to eat, especially solid food. I don't want to eat any eba or any solid food after 6 p.m. I think some things are beginning to come to my mind now. Yeah, he doesn't want to eat. So I had to find a way around it to prepare dinner before 6 p.m. Most times before he returns from work, food has to be ready. And then the second thing that hit me was I love dressing simple. I just love my simple look. But my husband, he likes it. You just have to package.
Always
so sometimes
point.
when I want to go out looking my simple way, he will call you back and tell you, Auntie, come. I don't like this one. I want this one. So I think that's the part I really felt it.
You see 2 examples, but I think the first time she shared the story of not eating after 6 p.m. because her husband insisted that. Now, I can imagine how difficult was adjusting to that.
It wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal for her. An easy catch. All right, let's go to Deborah this evening. Deborah, you have been married for a couple of years, and I'd like you to walk us through it. If you can remember your own experience when it first hit you that you were married, please share it with us, and then tell us how many years you've been married for. She's married to the Duke. What's that title your husband has? Is it Duke of Calabar? I can't remember it now.
Yes, Mayor of Calabar.
Mayor, yes.
Mayor, yes. Okay, I've been married 4 years, and if I remember clearly, it was just right off the bat when everyone was going home. Okay, so I did my reception in the same venue where I did my honeymoon. So everyone was going home and I wasn't. That was when it dawned on me that, girl, my father, my mother, my family, everybody was telling me bye. And I was standing there with man.
Standing there with man.
Standing there with man. And secondly, when we moved into our house, and I was actually going to sleep there that day. It was really strange because the only times I went there was when we went to inspect the place, to set up the place for us to use after marriage. So when I was actually going to sleep there with him present,
it was a difficult transition.
It was really some bells I had. Like, am I supposed to be here? Am I supposed to be here? Am I not supposed to be here? What's going on? And I had to calm myself down. That, girl, you are here. You're not going anywhere. So those were the 2 times that hit me that this thing is real. It has actually happened.
This thing is real. It has actually happened.
This thing is real.
So,
it has actually
one of the questions I want you to address this evening is, how have you been able to navigate marriage in the last 4 years in the face of changing times? Now we have social media putting a lot of pressure on marriages, and we have a lot of things evolving around us. How have you been able to stabilize being married in a fast-changing world?
Okay. Yes, I must say that a lot of things are changing. The dynamics of operations, basically, are changing in the world. But it's very important for a couple to have their priorities straight, even before marriage. You understand that both of you are priority. Your marriage, it comes first. Your marriage and the unit comes first, because a lot of things will try to drag your attention. Apart from even social media and other changes, the change of parenting that actually takes a bulk of the married life. It changes a whole lot of things. When it's just both of you, can be cute together, go out at any time, stay out as long as you want, do whatever you want to do. But things change. Parenting, financial responsibilities. So a lot of times we have to refocus We refocus. We schedule meetings. It looks like business meetings sometimes. We schedule meetings where we check up on our marriage, because you can just be going on. You started off as lovers, as best friends, as this tight-knit unit, and you don't even realize when you become roommates. So we take our time, check up on our marriage, ask ourselves, how are we doing? Is there anything I'm doing that you don't like? Is there anything you're doing that I don't like? We talk about these things and check up on the health of the marriage on its own, separate from the children, separate from our families, separate from our businesses, separate from ministry, separate from any. We check on our marriage. How do you still feel about me? Are you still into me? Because sometimes there's a very thin line. There's a very thin line between being lovers and being strangers. So we have to periodically check on each other and making sure we talk every single day, whether we left the house together or not. If we're in two different places, we must check up on each other every day, just to know that, okay, you're still in my mind. I'm still thinking about you, even though we are apart. Because marriage takes intentionality. So basically, in the past 4 years, God has helped us, and we've had those weekly, daily, monthly check-ins with each other.
Wow, checking on the health of your marriage.
Checking on the health of
I'm sure that a lot of people are learning. So you've been married for how many months?
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah,
Oh,
10
we're
months.
almost on 1 year.
10
so
months, yeah.
2 more months to go, and we are a year in marriage.
By God's grace.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
in these 10 months, how have you been able to navigate? What are the, we've talked about the shocks, but what are some of the very deliberate adjustments that you had to make to make your marriage work? I'll ask you as the man.
Okay.
You had already talked about the financial end, where you had to make financial adjustments. So just build around other things you've had to work around.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, so I want to draw talk about the fact that social media of today have really influenced marital life now. So personally, when I married my wife, I told my wife, please, let's not put our attention or focus on what we see on social media, because those things that they're not really real. People just do a amount of things and just make it up, and if somebody going through some hard times there or some challenges there, people only post their wins there. Do you understand? So I made her to understand that, please, we don't need to follow the train. Do you understand? We know what we are meant for and the essence of this marriage. So let's work it out together. So one thing about how we are to navigate through marital life in this changing time is that it takes, just like David said, it takes intentionality. We came in the morning asking, are you okay? Are the things I've done wrong? The things I'm supposed to do I'm not doing? And a woman, sometimes she will tell you, okay, something like this, and I didn't like it. You are better, doing quite well. And on her own part, she will ask me, is she doing well? Are the things that she's doing wrong? I'll tell her, my dear, you are good. You are good.
You are
no
just
issue.
good.
Just good. So if there are issues, I'll just tell her, this happened, which I didn't really like, and we sort it out. So we keep on talking to each other every day, asking each other the life, how is it been with you? Are you happy? What I do with her is what I call heart check. I think I do it almost every now and then. She can say it here, just to check and to see what it's doing to you, as in this home. Are you okay? Are there things I need to improve on? Are there things I need to stop doing? Do you understand? So she will now open up to me and tell me, yeah, this and this and that and that. Let's fix and that'll be over. Basically, we've not had any low time. Do you understand? God has really helped us. So not any low time at all. So we keep on. One thing about it, I want to commend my wife, because she's so supportive and so understanding. We come together. We talk about a lot of things. We don't sleep with with a rush. No matter what happened, we just talk about them. We are good. Do you understand? So that's how we've been able to navigate through the changing times.
Wow.
And it's been helping us seriously.
So often,
one thing. Sorry let me add one thing. One thing is openness. Do you understand? Very important. So, and honesty. So we make sure we are open to each other about everything about our life, and that has keep us going.
Wow.
Thank
So
you.
most often than not, even when you read blogs, read books, people tell you that the first year of marriage is the most difficult. The first year, the second year. Now, when an average person goes into marriage with that at the back of their mind, what would you say? You're almost 1 year married. Would you say it has been difficult navigating this first year in marriage? Because there's a lot of people listening to us this evening that have that scare. Like, if I can just go through this first year, I'm sure I will be okay in the second.
It hasn't been like that for us. It's been very easy. I think on several occasions I've actually held my husband. I told him, people usually say that the first 1 year, 1 to 2 years of marriage is usually very difficult, but we've had it easy. We've had it smooth. We've had it, like, we've not struggled adjusting.
Yeah.
Like, we've not struggled with adjustment. And I want to say this. The moment you get married, the day you get married, just like this lady said that it was when everybody might have left the reception venue. That's when it dawned on her that she was married.
That's when
The
the
day
marriage
you
began.
realize that you are married, enter your house and customize your marriage.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody had said about marriage, whatever size or whatever issues anybody had told you about marriage, when you enter your house, your home, define it, make it what you want it to become by the grace of God.
So we can actually make it work.
Exactly.
Debbie, let me come to you, and I'm having a spiking thought about third parties in relationships and marriages. Now, most of us have very religious backgrounds, and we always heard that, oh, don't have any third party in your marriage. But I remember that even at my own wedding, Pastor Dara Ezekiel Atam was preaching, and then she said she changed the narrative. It's now about finding healthy third parties for your marriage.
That's it.
Now, so just build on that. Third parties, should we have them? Shouldn't we have them? In these last 4 years, have you had the need to bring in a healthy third party to talk about something? How has it been like?
Sorry, please, can you just come again one more time?
Okay, so I'm talking about the place of third parties in marriages. Before now, it was more like don't have third parties, but the narrative is beginning to change as to have healthy third parties. So I'm also asking, in the last 4 years, have you had to bring a third person to serve as an arbiter, between you and your husband?
Okay, so
Oh, we're having some
okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. She's frozen. We do hope that the network can clear. And so, I know you have said your first year of marriage has been quite smooth, but has there been anything that happened at any point, like you needed a third counsel, like someone else, an eagle eye, counsel from pastor, somebody? Has there been that experience yet?
Sure. We've had it one.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm coming from a place where I had my tiny loan. And then transitioning from singleness to marriage, I struggled. I struggled with my spiritual life. I struggled to understand myself when I got married after some time. So we had to walk up to someone we respect, and then we told the person, okay, this is what is happening, and then this is how I'm feeling about the whole thing. He said, okay, you are married, but then you shouldn't lose yourself in the marriage. Mm-hmm. So try as much as you can to create time for yourself and also create time together. Create time for yourself and also create time together so that you will not lose yourself in the marriage. So that's when we had to meet with someone who has been in the marriage relationship for a longer period than us, to counsel us on how to come out of that situation.
So when you say don't lose yourself in a marriage, what's that like? What can I do in a marriage situation not to lose myself? Is it like every now and then I'm like, please, my husband's still on your own, I want to stay on my own? What are the practices that can, keep you as a single entity, although you're married? What are some of the steps you have started taking since after you got the advice?
Okay, since after I got the advice, we decided, instead of meeting together every time. So there are times when my husband returns from work and he knows that I need my me time. And then at that moment, he would have his own me time. Afterwards, we'll come together. So that's how I have been able to recover from that feeling, because it was terrible on me.
It was overwhelming.
Yes, it was really overwhelming.
So in your me time, what are you doing?
So in my what?
In your me time, what are you doing? What's me time like?
So the thing is this. Let me just throw more lights on what she was trying to explain. Now the thing is this. I think normally couples are meant to pray the morning together. We started praying together right from before our courtship period. Sometimes I call you in the morning and we pray for a good number of time, maybe minutes, an hour before we go out for our normal daily activities. Now, so we now got married. We are now in the same room. Do you understand? So we continue our normal daily devotion. Do you understand? Yes. So on the long run, she told me one day that she's feeling dry. Do you understand? And it's in a way also affecting me, but I was just playing down on it. Do you understand? I wasn't serious about the entire thing. But when we now sought that counsel, the person now told us, okay, yes, you guys had you had a good spiritual background. You had a good one. You pray in the morning. So he now said, okay, sometimes maybe in the week, can just pray alone, maybe out of 7 days in a week, just pray for at least 3 days out of alone. So then after you are done, you guys now come together and just summarize the prayer. Do you understand? As a family. So that really helped us seriously. The point of counseling came up. So it really helped us. So sometimes she would just go and I go on my own and we just separate ways. Thank God for our apartment and room. So she just stay somewhere. I'm staying in another room and we just pray. When we are now done, we just come back together and just say 2 or 3 minutes prayer and we are done. And we are good to go. So that's just that. That's how we were able to manage navigate through that. So, and I can't recall any other challenge that we had to coordinate. So that's how God has been so faithful to us.
Very
so
faithful. I think we have Debbie back. I don't know if you were able to get the question, and so we can just get right into your answer. Healthy third parties. Have you had to, bring a third person to get counseled in the last 4 years?
Okay, no, no, but we do have a mentor over our marriage where we get advice, counsel, but we haven't had to bring in a third party to try to solve anything. I individually seek counsel, he seeks counsel. So it's actually important to have someone that is not sentimental, basically.
Exactly.
So not his mother, your mother, not his personal person that would most likely side him or side you if there's anything to resolve. But personally, we have not yet gotten to that point. But seeking of counsel, finding ways around some decisions, yes. And we're very, very, very interested that we ourselves have young couples too that we mentor. So we are very, very keen on seeking counsel, but it's very important to choose who you're seeking the counsel from. Someone that would give you sound counsel based on the word of God, not just their own experiences. So that's basically my view on it. And personally, we haven't had to involve any third party in our marriage. We like to keep it between us. Most of the time, things that are not resolvable between a couple is usually because one person wants to insist on their way. So we try to make adjustments here and there. We said from the beginning that we're going to be very flexible and give a very long rope to each other because we come from 2 different backgrounds. We come from different trainings, upbringing. So we know already ahead of time. We had a very long discussion on this. We know ahead of time that we are going to think differently. We're going to have differences in opinions. We're going to let each other speak and listen to understand, not just listen to respond. So many times we go back and forth people go back and forth in arguments because they are just listening with their mental notes. and trying to have their points ready for the other person to finish. But if you actually understand what this person is saying, it's very likely and very possible that both of you can be right. But one decision is better for the unit. So when we put the unit first, it's very difficult to have the need to bring a third party to resolve any matters. But seeking of counsel is very key. Seeking counsel is very key, even on ways to improve your marriage. Very, very key.
Well, a lot of us are seeking counsel now from the social media. And I think I've personally experienced a spate in a lot of relationship bloggers, and writers. Like, everybody does have something now to say about relationships. So how would you, how are you sieving through that? I think sometimes, how someone just says 10 ways to please my husband, let's ask Google, and then we do that.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, so how can we work around that? It's really happening. Qualified, unqualified people talking about relationships.
Yes. First of all, I think that many people study other people's spouses more than they study theirs. So we know a lot about our power couples than we know about our spouse. And everything that we receive, because there's advice on so many different things, but it's important to filter it to apply to your own situation. Your husband is not that man. Your wife is not that woman. They have different preferences, different ideologies, different needs, different love languages. So there is no one size fits all, but our base must be from the Word of God. Our base must be from the Word of God, because that is the only one size fits all, the Word of God. So if anything you're hearing or seeing, it's very important to filter it, because even for parenting, there are lots and lots of mentors and coaches that you get so confused. Say, if you do this to your child, you're spoiling their brain forever, you are killing their esteem, you're doing this, you're doing that, you get so confused. So it's important to filter everything you see or hear and know if it's applicable for your marriage, if it's an idea to spice up your home. Definitely you can look and say, okay, my husband appreciates this type of thing. That's how some people have carried some crazy pranks, and they've done it in their homes, and it has scattered the marriage. Some people have taken some advice, and you see something, you see a man that did something for his wife, and you're now feeling, why didn't my husband do this for me? Or you see a man writing a long post, not knowing that that man is a skilled writer. But your husband is more verbal than he wants to write. And you're comparing, but you don't know the situation. You're not looking at your personal garden. The grass is greener where you water it. The grass is greener where it's watered. So filter everything you see. It's not wrong to follow people that you admire what they do, but don't just look at the glory. Try to know the behind the scenes, the story, the lessons, and what has brought them to that point, the work that has brought them to that point. So it's not just about the pictures and the nice quotes. Look at your man, look at your woman. Study them more than you study other couples.
Study your spouse more than you study other couples.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Seriously.
So I'm going to ask you, Edidion, what's something you discovered about Monica? Like, you cutted, and one of my aunts always told me, they say the way we cut in the kingdom hides a lot of things. So when you get married, you'll be shocked. What's one thing you realize that, she has this side to her? Tell us one of it.
Oh, wow, good question. So, good question. Seriously. So, my wife is my wife can pray for a long period of time, more than what I do pray the hours. Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I know prayer is good. Yeah, I like prayer. I love prayer. Not just like, I love it so. But sometimes, young lady, just take a break. Do you understand? I know it's a lifestyle. Just take a break and do something for yourself. What she, like, something happened in the house when we finished praying. Just example, right? We finished praying, you understand? And she now said, we're done with a normal prayer, and I had to go into my laptop to something before I went back to my work. She now said, can we just agree on something? I'm like, sister, we finished. God in heaven heard us. we just finished our normal hours of prayers. And what am I agreeing on again? So I felt it wasn't that important, but later in the day, I realized I was wrong. Do you understand? So that's one thing about my wife. So I'm like, I think I've come to just accept the fact that this is who I married. Do you understand? Everything she not just want to eat now, she prays. Good. She want to just go to the bathroom now, she prays. And that's small thing my wife is praying. Do you understand? So why myself? I'm just more like I'm a one time maybe normal.
You have your routine prayer.
Exactly,
time.
in the morning, in the evening, and you're done. But this one, almost every corner, any point in his daily, that daily life, that's what she does. So I'm like, okay, this is who I married. Do you understand? And I think that's not a problem. I'm just telling you what I've seen. Do you understand?
It's something you've had to adjust.
Exactly. So I think I'm beginning to like it big time. Do you understand? So that's just that. It's not a challenge at all, but just like this is who I married. Do you understand? I have to just accept it. So it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, I can
so
imagine.
Thank you.
So you're going to tell us, because sometimes if you're not careful in the way you navigated that, it can actually become a source of friction.
Exactly.
Like you'll be shocked that it is prayer, but it can actually cause friction.
Exactly.
Because so just gisting about this, I think we pray in different ways. For instance,
that's the point.
Yes, my husband doesn't pray loud. Like he doesn't pray loud. So sometimes I'm like, I've not seen you pray. You are not praying. You see, when you are sleeping, me, I am praying. And I'm like, but I didn't even hear you praying, And then sometimes he's praying and then he's still and quiet. Me, I'll be poking like, wake up to your sleep. But
he's praying. The man is praying. Do you understand?
So over time, I've had to learn, because now, like 2 times or 3 times, I have shoved him while he was praying, and it's like, I was seeing a vision. And
Can you imagine?
It has happened like 2 or 3 times. I don't think I've still learned my lesson. The only thing is that I'm now back to work, so he has his time to pray. I'm no longer there to experience the breakings in the process.
Yeah.
So if we are not careful, although it is prayer, it can cause friction.
Exactly.
So I'm just happy to hear, and it was good that you shared.
Yeah.
Like you're having to adjust. I know that this is this person.
Exactly.
I remember Pastor Nathaniel Basti sharing that his wife was shocked that then he sleep, he'll be praying in tongues. That's how they live. That's how some people, and it could be anything. It could be work, it could be career. So share with me something that you were shocked about your husband. Like, this is a part of you.
My husband is a very focused person. Like, he's on a straight line. Like a
you only understand straight line.
There's a straight line, a perfectionist. It has to be here. When he's sitting in front of his laptop, it is me and my laptop. But I had started noticing this right from courtship, where he would leave for work in the morning, come back, he's tired, he's resting, waking up, but trying to talk. He's already sleeping on me, and then he has been a workaholic right from onset. But when I came into his house, that eventually got married to him, it became something else, that sometimes you're trying to get his attention. And my husband is there saying, you don't understand, I'm doing something. I said, Uncle, I am here. Am I spared? Why can't you just turn and look at me and talk to me? So it was an issue, but having to read some books that men are like waffles, women are like spaghetti.
Exactly.
I learned that when you see them in their box, just leave them at that moment. That having to read that book helped me to know that it's their space. When you see them in that space, allow them.
Place of knowledge.
Yeah.
Wow. The unfortunate thing is that every time you have a very great conversation, people are talking about deep stuff. Before you know it, time has finished. It's meant to be 1 hour and we're already top of the hour. So I'm going to ask Debbie to give us like a final word. I'm sorry the time is already up and the conversation has been the sweetest. We couldn't even open up the phone lines. But Debbie, if you had one thing to share to married folks this evening, and we must establish the fact that a lot of persons are struggling in their marriages, but a lot of persons also are having it good. If you were to, say a word to married folks right now, what would it be?
Okay, now to say a word to married folks, I would say create your boundaries and filter what you allow to get into your spirit and into your ears. because it's what we feed ourselves with that we automatically start acting out. You may think it doesn't mean anything to stay stuck on the negative marriages, negative PR about marriages, the people that have gotten divorced, people that have broken up, people that are having it bad, all the evil stories. The more you feed on it, the more it starts affecting you, even in your own home. Things that were not even a big deal to you now starts looking like a big problem. Things that you could have handled easily now starts looking like this thing that broke this person's home, let it not affect me. Your spouse is not your father or your mother. They are different. So whenever you feel like comparing them, pause and know that this person is different. Create rules for your own home and stick to it. Your marriage is priority before children, before your ministry, before your work. Because when it fails, a lot of other things spiral down. So keep God at the center. The more you draw closer to God, the more you draw closer to each other, and make your marriage fun. Marriage is not good or bad. Marriage is what the two people in it make it. So if you bring fun into it, it will be fun. If you bring love into it, there will be love. If you bring laughter into it, there will be laughter. I know that nobody is responsible for your joy. There can be a source of happiness to you, but nobody's responsible for your joy. Wow. Make sure you find joy, like I said, make sure you find joy in your own self, because that's what you give. You're more pleasant when you're personally a happy person.
Wow, thank you so much. Great wisdom you have been spewing this evening. I know that if we could have opened up the phone lines, you would have been hearing all the thank yous. And I am saying thank you to you on behalf of every viewer nationwide and in sub-Saharan Africa this evening. Thank you so much for coming on the show this evening. Of course, we've been speaking to Deborah Fumbuwe all the way from Calabar, a relationship expert and coach herself, married, author, everything excellent. Thank you so much for giving us your time out of your very tight schedule. Well, I'm going to say thank you to both of you, because if I say one more thing, we will skip into another person's time. It's been so great. Thank you so much for sharing, out of your 10-month marriage. Yeah. And I do hope that people who are having great marriages can try to speak up some more about their marriages. Yeah. Yes, this has been Mr. and Mrs. Edidiong and Monica Udofia. They've been sharing their experiences in the last 10 months of their marriage. I hope you learned one or two, something you can actually put to practice in your own marriage. But that's where we really need to draw the curtains on Connect this evening. Family Live Show on Spectrum Television. Thanks for being a part of this. My name is Uyai, and then good night and enjoy the rest of your day.